I'm just really upset, disturbed by all of it, disturbed by what I saw. And I want to clear something up real quick because one of the wrestlers is getting like threats, death threats. You know, his name is KT King. He's the one who actually called the cops. Um, and he gave a good qualified statement. Somebody screenshotted pictures and sent it to the people we did the video with. Um, I wasn't really aware of what was all said right there, but like that information is valid, but it was hinting at the fact that there's certain people that were so unprofessional that we didn't want communicating to the police. You know, well, I'm not saying we, I wasn't a part of it at the time, but that's, you know, that's what he was hinting at. I don't condone violence or hate towards anybody. You know, even Raja, some of the things I'm saying, like I felt like he was led into that. You know, the person I'm really mad at is the worker that brought him. You know, to me, I feel you're responsible for some. If I bring a guest into somebody's house and that guest starts jumping on the couch and breaking windows, it's my job to remove that guest. You know? Oh,
Where does that all stand? I know the LAPD was investigating. Do you have any idea where any sort of investigation goes? Because you get a lot of people saying that we saw what could be considered attempted murder on Saturday.
yeah. I don't know what's going on. Uh, honestly, dude, I'm one of these people. Like I believe in forgiveness. If Stu's not pressing charges, I believe that maybe they could work out a deal where he gets some mental health. If he has to spend time in jail, I hope it's very minimal. Uh, I, yeah, sorry, I'm still at work.
You're good.
Yeah, you know, like I just because when this guy is trying to live up to his dad's reputation, you know, he's got these big things, and then you got a guy that's supposed to, you know, be a friend and instead of being a mentor, you know, taking him back a second and saying, "Hey, bud, I know you're upset. I know you're mad. I know this happened." I feel like when you have somebody that's volatile, you see his dad's relationship, see how he interacts with his dad, and you can tell clearly he's insecure. You know, he makes videos about like how he doesn't have only any money, only his dad has money, like that. He has all this pent up anger, rage, and aggression. And if he were to just take all of that angry, like massive chaotic energy and he poured it into self belief and like something good for himself, like he'd be a stud, you know? Like I'm pissed at what he did to my friend. I'm pissed for him punching me in the face. I'm pissed for him that when I went to take him off and told him to calm down, he tried to double leg me. Because if he would have double legged me, he would have done the same thing to me that he did to Stu. You know, he would have hurt me very badly. You know, like just one punch cut my eye open. He punches like a tank. You know, strong kid, a strong man.
I know you're back to work. Have you spoke to anybody in the hospital? Anybody close to Stu? How is he doing?
Yeah, I could zoom out and read it, but the gist of it was, uh, you know, he remembers mostly what happened during the early parts of the day. He's talking a little bit. He's alert. He's still got some injuries that are very serious. Not like you know life threatening serious, but like you know facial injuries, uh, stuff like that. I'm worried uh, about when he's mobile around and you know any injury to the head can creep in. Like I've had head injuries that I thought were good, and a month later I'm like, oh, like this is awkward. So I'm just worried, you know, like he's gonna miss a lot of work. He might need therapy, and I might need a lot of things. So I to me it's just do as much as I can for him to be able to bounce back, you know, and recover because it's kind of like how he functions. He likes to work hard. He likes to do things. He likes to be busy. Oh,
And I know a big part of helping is you wanted to spread awareness for the GoFundMe, which, as we're taping this, just crossed $100,000. Mr. Beast, the YouTuber, donated $10,000. Chris Jericho, $2,500. The support that everybody is in the community is rallying behind this guy must be super special to you.
it is because you know, like he's gonna need that. You know, if this goes the wrong way for him, like who's to say that he can go back to work and perform the same function? You know, you don't know if he develops any type of eyesight issues or you know constant migraines that put him out. Like you don't know. Like I don't know. Like So to see that, to me, it's everything. Like it means the world to me. That's why I'm doing the podcast. That's why I'm doing everything. All I want to do is make sure that he's taken care of. I don't care about personal uh, attention or money. I could care less. I just want him to be okay.
We all do. And last thing for you, Doug, you were there, you saw this happen, you have a wound as well. What do you think should happen next? What should happen to Raja?
That's it's difficult, like vengeance isn't for me or anybody. It's for a higher power. But, like I feel like he could help himself if he got some mental help. Uh, if he got some like family therapy done to work out something, because you heard the video when he was leaving, how all that pent up rage he had, you know? So hopefully whatever happens to him, it gets him the most help, and there's some type of silver lining to pull out of this. Hopefully Stu makes a full recovery. Hopefully, a lot of things happen. I don't, but even though he did a terrible thing, it's hard to just outright hate people.
When you jumped into action, you said that Stu would have done the same thing for you, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, that makes me emotional. Yeah, he went in a heartbeat. He was that kind of guy. Even after he, you know, fucked up, and I'm sorry for cursing, but he messed up and did the beer can thing. Thought he was a worker. He went and apologized multiple times, and you could see his body language. He felt remorse. That's not something that Stu participates in. Sorry, I'm trying to get the brightness up on this phone.
You're
There we
good.
go. Yeah. So Stu doesn't. He's not a violent guy. He's always a good guy.
You mentioned the can backstage. What was planned there? What did Raja
I
know or not know what was
I
going to happen?
I don't know. Like that's not something discussed. Like I wasn't a part of that. I was in the background calling my match out with my buddy, my tag partner, and Journey, and my other buddy, Zeke, and we're just figuring out what we're gonna do, this and that. Like there's really big people in the ring. We're trying to be safe. 12 like yeah, 1,200 pounds of in the ring at one time. Like we want to make sure we don't hurt each other. But so I was focused on that. So the beer can thing, I don't know. And if someone would have done that to me, like I'd be ready to fight right there on the spot. I'd be like, what the hell? I'd lose my temper like that. But they apologized, they made up, they shook hands and all the other stuff. And then after they shook hands and they agreed to do this little spot, like nobody talked about this. I didn't even know the spot existed. I just was told at the last second after I was already exhausted from that match that I you know, did this long match and I'm exhausted. Hey, can you make sure everything's okay? There's going to be a spot. And I'm like, what spot? What are you talking about? So I walk out front. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I talk to the sound guy. He was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I walk out to the front one more time because the guy has a radio. I said, if something happens, just radio, I guess I'll be over here. And then it's happening, you know? Like,
You see some old school wrestlers saying what happened outside, kind of putting the blame on Stu, which seems kind of crazy, right? Seen Rob Van Dam say that and Mark Henry said that
yeah,
they kind of set something up like that.
if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Everyone's entitled to their opinion in incidents like this. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to feel the same way. Try to always have like this dichotomy of all good and all bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't go for that. I don't subscribe to it. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Like I don't agree with it, but I have a personal bias towards Stu.
Tell us about
Like,
Stu. Like yourself, he's a veteran. People didn't know most people who Stu was until this happened. And I know he's really close to you. Tell everybody what they need to know about Stu.
we're close because of wrestling, but it's not like we hung out every day and like now, he's just a good guy. We had a moment at the last show between me and another wrestler named Oak. The guy in my Instagram, I have him doing a stand-up suplex. Because Oak's a Marine veteran, Stu's an Army veteran. We were just talking, having a moment, bonding. Uh, every show Stu's been there. He's been super kind to me, always helped me out, always had my back, always making sure I was okay. He's just a nice guy, but he's very shy, mild mannered. He's not, some big aggressive bully, you know. Yeah, he's just a hard worker. He just is. He's like a man's man. He shows up, goes to work. He's not begging for attention. He's not doing crazy stuff. You know, uh, I I couldn't say enough nice things about Stu.